Hey guys, in today's video we'll be doing another tropical update because finally, like I predicted, the NHC has put out 2 areas of disturbed weather that could become tropical development. This second disturbance doesn't have an X for it just because its main area hasn't formed. So, and because the 2-day percentage is still at 0% since that area hasn't formed. But this area has an X because it has a 10% chance already of forming within the next 2 days. Both these areas don't really have that much high chance of development. So it'll be another one of those, who knows. It's kind of like Dolly in a way. Just because with Dolly we're like, okay, no, it's not going to form. Maybe it'll form just because the chances went up, and then all of a sudden it just blew up with convection and it formed, and we're like, okay then. So I don't know, maybe this one will do the same thing as Dolly. Who knows? This one, I mean, maybe it's in the MDR region, and it stands for Main Development Region for those of you who may not know. But in the MDR, the sea surface temperatures are very warm, though I guess the chances are low just because of probably the dust that's in the area that still hasn't died out yet, and maybe some shear, but I don't know, we'll see. It says, this first disturbance, it says a tropical wave located several hundred miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands is moving west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Some slow development of this system is possible during the next 2 to 3 days. After that time, environmental conditions become less conducive for development. So I guess, I mean, it has this huge area to really develop, so I don't know, we'll have to see. Same with the second disturbance, it has a massive area to develop, so again, we'll have to see about that. So let's go to tropical tidbits. You know what? Let's look at what the it says here. Wow, it is still going up for the Enzo region, and of course this is the daily graph, so it's not the greatest, but this is really the best we have, pretty much. You can see it's now at negative 0.026 degrees Celsius, so it is almost practically perfectly neutral. I mean, it seems like it's trying to stabilize and then start heading back down, but I don't know, we'll just have to see. Because it has this started to do this slower trend upwards, but I don't know, we'll just have to see what happens with that. Let's see, where should we go? Central Pacific? No, let's just go to the world, zoom this in. I mean, here's the Enzo region here, and you can see the waters here are below average, they're cooler, and then as you get here, they're warmer a bit, so it's still generally a neutral Enzo, but it's warming a bit just because this area is kind of starting to warm it up a bit, so I don't know, we'll have to see when it really starts to decide to go back down, because I definitely think this area will start to cool back down again fairly soon, though we could have to wait another week or two, but you know, that's just the way it is with this area, with the Enzo region. Now the see, the North Atlantic, zoom this in, the North Atlantic, the whole area is generally warming pretty well. The MDRs, you can see, as I was saying before, the temperatures are a lot warmer, getting a lot warmer. Most of the area is generally above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so that is very conducive for the tropical development to form if the conditions were right. And it seems like they generally will be for that system out here for the next few days, but we'll have to see. It will, of course, generally continue to warm, so these temperatures that are 24, 25 degrees Celsius will warm up probably to around 27, 28 degrees Celsius, and maybe a little above that. And then, of course, naturally, as we get towards the Caribbean, Gulf, subtropics area around the Bahamas, it's the warmest areas, and that's what we were really thinking would happen. So that's the good news here in a way. The East Coast is warming a lot. It's continuing to warm. In fact, off the northeast coast, the waters are warming, and are getting a lot warmer than I would think they would get, because in Fahrenheit is 22 degrees Celsius, generally around 20 degrees Celsius. That's right around 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's say we do get a tropical system to form in the MDR and move up into the north of Puerto Rico, into the subtropics region near the Bahamas, and then curve up the east coast. Let's say this will happen in end of July, beginning of September. Let's say that's the time frame this system is happening. It goes up the east coast. Of course, by then the waters will be even warmer. So let's say it peaks around, I don't know, weak category 4, mid category 4 status, and then heads up the east coast. The waters here will still be generally very warm, so it probably won't weaken too much. And then once it exits the Gulf Stream here, it may weaken slightly, but not too much. So again, the New England region is, as predicted, a lot more at risk for tropical systems to impact this region. So please watch out for everyone living there, and really for the whole coastline of the U.S., from the Gulf Coast, Florida, up the whole East Coast, and even into coastal Canada here, Newfoundland and those areas. So that's a look at the ENSO regions and what the sea surface temperatures are like. Let's now look at the forecast models. We'll look at the GFS first. We'll zoom it out to the North Atlantic so we get the whole view of both systems. And we'll take it out a few days at a time. You can see, by the way, today we have the SPC upgraded the severe weather for the northeast New England, like yesterday, up to a slight risk for particularly very southern New England, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, I believe also southern Vermont and New Hampshire in this as well. I'm not sure. I forget about if Maine's in it, but I don't think it is, actually. So, but yeah, especially those regions are at the most risk, especially Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts today for severe weather. And the low pressure system will take over a lot of this precipitation and just spin it around New England for the next few days. So we'll get much needed rain over the majority of this week going through Thursday. And then wind this back so we can look at this first system, because this first system starts to try and get its act together, but it doesn't look like it really does according to GFS. GFS has really backed off on both these systems, in fact. It's not really showing either of the systems forming, which is really interesting. Let's look at the vorticity. Let's go here, vorticity, bring this out. You can see not much vorticity with that first system. That second system, not really showing much vorticity for that either. So GFS has really backed off, even though it was showing a lot of decent vorticity for these systems. We'll just have to, I don't know, keep an eye on the GFS, see if it changes back at all. But right now, the GFS isn't on board with that at all, with these systems developing. Let's look at the CMC. CMC, we go farther out in time. You can see it agrees with that precipitation spinning around New England for the next few days. Doesn't really show that system in the MDR at all. And then the other system, not really showing anything either for both these systems, which sounds like a little surprising in a way, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it again going into this week, because it looked like it was going to, at least this system coming off the Mid-Atlantic would actually form, but now it doesn't look like it will. Actually, as of right now, the Euro is the only one really showing it, at least the Mid-Atlantic system forming, and it is showing that MDR system trying to form as well. So let's take a look at that. We'll go to pivotal weather so I can show you guys the precipitation for the Euro. European forecast loop. Oh, I can't. Oh, I forgot about this. You can't. You can only do the Gulf of Mexico for it. It's annoying. Well, I can show you at least this upcoming Mid-Atlantic system, I guess, with what the Euro's showing. you can see there's the low pressure center. Actually, it's showing it July 1st now. Showing it a little even earlier. And it looks like it goes pretty much right along with the Gulf Stream, where the Gulf Stream is, so it is able to strengthen a good bit. You can see right here, it's at 993 millibars. So we could very well see the system happen. It's just a matter of fact and time, if really a matter of time, if the GFS and CMC will hop aboard again with this system. But we'll just have to see. As of right now, I think this is the most likely system to form out of the two. I don't think the MDR system will form. So that's that there. So let's see. I want to. Oh, is this? Here, I'll show you the wind with the system. Gotta get rid of this ad. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna take this out farther in time. Here we go, July 1st. You can see there's that low pressure center, and the winds gets pretty strong, 50 knots or so. So that's pretty decent. Getting towards mid-tropical storm status. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that. So here it shows, it shows it starting to strengthen more, and really shows it trying to strengthen, keep strengthening, gets to around 50, 55 knots. So, we'll just have to, oh shoot, sorry about that. Hold on, bring this down more so you guys can see it. Adjust my camera, sorry if you guys couldn't see it for a bit. Hold on. There. There we go. So there's a system right here showing again towards 50, 55 knots or so. So that's 55 to 60 miles per hour. So that's getting towards moderate to strong tropical storm status, according to the Euro, which is very interesting. Let's take it, let's keep going with this, going out, see what else. Actually, let's change it back to the precipitation for now, and then we can maybe go back to the rain if we need to. The wind if we need to. So we go farther out in time. That system spins around. There's that system we were just talking about. Keeps going. And what's interesting is that there's this strong low pressure system over the Dixie Alley Gulf states, just spinning there over Mississippi and Alabama. We'll have to watch that for maybe a pretty decent flood threat there. And then, that's at the end of the run now. So, really at this point, we'll just have to continue to watch that Mid-Atlantic system, that system coming off the Mid-Atlantic there. So there's that. I just want to show again the Wikipedia page for this year's 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Again, the damage total already is above $543 million in damage, so we are already getting very close to that $1 billion mark, which is thoroughly surprising. We already have 5 total deaths, 1 associated with Bertha, 4 associated with Cristobal. Arthur didn't kill any people, and Dolly was just a fish storm, so it didn't damage or kill anyone or anything. So that's the good news. I do think now I gotta lower my chances for this Mid-Atlantic system. I think now it's a 30 to 40% chance of happening. Though between the two, I think this is the highest chance of this happening. The MDR system, I totally agree with the percentage chances the NHC is giving it right now. A 10 to 20% chance of happening. I think it won't really update too much. Again, I think we'll at least maybe get Edward out of this for the Mid-Atlantic, off the Mid-Atlantic coast. And then we'll see with its track whether or not it tracks closer to the East Coast or more out to sea, so it doesn't really damage or kill anyone. Though then again, even if it is out to sea, it will probably still be pretty close to the East Coast, so it will most likely send swells and enhanced waves to pretty much all of the East Coast, especially the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So that could kill some people if they aren't careful. But again, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. So again, this season again still looks like it will be very fairly active. And actually, I do want to just real quick before I end this, just update you guys on the fact that I already put out my official hurricane season forecast for this year, but I am starting to think if we do have a very active July, because I'm thinking we could have maybe 4 named storms by the time we get to August 1st, and I think especially getting towards mid to end of July, I think the conditions will become a lot more favorable for development. If we get another 4 systems by August 1st, we'll already have 8 named systems. If we get another 2 by mid-August, and we already have 10 total named storms, I'm going to have to update my total official named storms forecast from 20 to 23 most likely, because, I mean, I think we at that point, I think we could see more than another 10 named storms. I mean, again, this will all just still depend on how once we get into August, how that goes up until we get to mid-August. But I just want to tell you guys about that. But yeah, this is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Please subscribe. I really want to try and get to as close to 100 subscribers as possible by the end of July. So please subscribe if you want to, and if you're already subscribed, please like and comment below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.